Hey everybody, I'm Rousseau. I do a little work here and there, and it looks like we're back in the research workshop. This time again to talk about boxes, but also again to talk about tubes, or at least parts of tubes. But yeah, boxes. I have made various boxes in the past, including these 7-die Hexagon Honeycomb box things. They're boxes. And these, generally, you put dice in them, but you could put anything in there. Not just dice, but, rings and other jewelry, or nuts and bolts, or, just whatever. And I have also done this puzzle box, which is a bit cooler than the other one. It's got more moving parts, or I guess I should say there are some mechanisms in there, and mechanisms are always fun, but I'm not the one that designed this, so I would say that something, original would probably be worth a few more points on the cosmic scale, for whatever that's worth. So we'll get these out of the way, and that should bring us to this little guy, which is a 3-die box as opposed to the previous 7-die boxes. And actually it's got the dice from the puzzle box, or the dice that were in the puzzle box, in it now. But yeah, it's just a roll top sort of design where there are 3 partial tubes of varying diameters, 2 of which are fixed and 1 of which moves around on a track, part of which is formed by these 2 end pieces and the majority of which is formed by the other 2 partial tubes. So this one is a little sticky, but functional. The door moves back about 150 degrees, and when it's like this, it is very bottom heavy, so you don't really have to worry about your dice falling out of there unless you hit it and then it'll roll around, I guess. I don't know, it's pretty sturdy. And like I said, this one's sticky, but if you grab it in the middle, it shouldn't get too out of alignment. And that's where I do have one note before I take this thing apart and show you what the inside looks like. And that is that you can't just push this little door, or, at least not just in any direction that you want. That is, you have to push it in a curve along the surface. Otherwise, the door panel will impact the other panels while it's, in there somewhere. And that is where I will make some improvements eventually. But we'll get to that when the thing is apart. So really this thing is only 4 pieces now that things are glued together, but yeah, let's just start tearing into this thing. So first the sides have to come off, and then you can slide the door right out. And yeah, you should be able to see what I was talking about now. In addition to a couple of dividers, this piece has an inside tube, an outside tube, and a little spacer that is permanently placed in here. The door is just a size between those 2 partial tubes, and it does have some little teeth and a handle on it, but they're mostly ineffectual at this point. Really, it's just in need of a slight redesign. And I think the best thing for that would be to reduce both of these tubes by 1 layer on the inside of this crevice, except on the edges, because that way I can maintain a smooth track, but then the middle of the door won't be touching the middle of the other panels, which is the big problem right now. Past that, what is there? The end cap pieces, and these are pretty simple. There's a big slot on one side, then a small slot on the other side, and we've already gone over that. So moving on, there's only one more thing, I think, and that is a little lip that's on the back of the tooth side of the door, and that's just to give the leading edge of the door, the one that you're pushing against, a little bit more rigidity. So that's that. We'll see if we can't get it put together real quick by sliding the door into its sheath and doing our best to line up each of those end caps. And then so long as we can close the door, yeah, we're good. And we can put the dice back in there. So what are the plans for this from here on out? Well, as some of you may know, I did start a roll top box, and I made one side of it, which is this thing here. It's got a planetary gear set so that it can A, act as a kickstand, but also B, on the back side, have a little built-in lock for the roll top. It's really unnecessary, but hey, if you can do it, you might as well. but that project really stopped because I still needed to make things to go inside of the roll-top box. I didn't know how wide to make it, and I didn't really want to go through the trouble of making another one of these and not have any way to put the two sides together. So yeah, I'm just not going to make sides until I know what's going to go in there. And now I have one idea of something that could go in there. And it's this little box, so you can imagine, what, a little wider than that, about there? And that's pretty good, and we still got room to fit other stuff in the bottom of this box. You know, maybe other boxes that hold other things, like our custom configurable character card. Yeah, we made one of those. And yeah, I'm just sort of striving for a certain aesthetic here, which is that when they're painted, they'll look like metal and wood or something. And yeah, besides that, it's just real basic motif circles and rectangles. But yeah, maybe something to look forward to in the future. More boxes, and maybe even more tubes. But only time will tell. So, until next time, you've been watching the Research Workshop on Rousseau Works, and I'm Rousseau, out.